But we go along in this world and we realize that not everybody thinks like we do. Not everybody has the same opinions and perspective as we do, and that's okay. But it bumps up against us sometimes. And it bumps up against our values and everything that we believe in. But it does not take that truth away. So what I know is that the more I stay in my own power and my own ability to co-create my life with God, now I'm empowered. Now I'm living in this place of powerful, I'm empowered. When I give that away, when I give that power away, the only feeling left is resentment. So for me personally, what I'm doing is I'm taking this truth back to heart in a bigger way than I ever have before. For those of you who have taken our foundational class and then moved on, the question that you often ask me is, does it ever get any easier? And I assure you it does. At the very beginning, we have a lot of tools that we offer, yes? We have a lot of things to put in our toolbox, a new way to pray, a new way to do affirmations. We put all those in our toolbox. At the beginning stages, you have to use those tools a whole lot. You have to think about, oh, I'm going to do a 5-step prayer now. Oh, I'm going to do this affirmation now. Oh, I'm going to remember my source now. We have to do a lot of remembering. And then we get to a place where it gets easier. We're flowing along our merry river. And then something happens that knocks us off. And when something happens that knocks us off this nice little river, we got to go back and use our tools. So no matter how far along we are on the path, we have an opportunity right now to go back and grab those tools. So here I am. I've been doing this philosophy since 1989, and I feel like a beginner. I feel like a beginner. I'm having to sit in my meditation and say, what's the truth here? Oh yeah, God is my source. What's my prayer here? Oh yeah, okay, God, there's only God. God lives in me. I get to co-create my life, and I choose love, and I choose joy, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm going to release it now into that spiritual law. I'm having to use it like a beginner. I'm having to go back and remind myself my superpower is my ability to create my life according to my desires. I'm using my tools. And I'm inviting those of you who feel knocked off your center right now to go back and be a beginner. And grab the tools like you're carrying them for the very first time. And if you're new here, the number one thing is we say God is the one and only source, period. And we say that that source lives right here where we are. And we have it to use. We have it in our heart. We have it in our mind. And that for me is the greatest anchor that there is to remember who I am and to remember what life is and to remember that I get to do this. Because what I also know is that when I live in fear and when I live in resentment and when I live in hatred, that's what I'm needing more of in my life. I don't want to stay there for very long. I want to get back to love. I want to get back to joy. I want to get back to co-creating my life. Then, it's also helpful to remember two things here. These are like tools. One of them is, remember to look at human life from the long-term perspective. Especially when the short-term perspective looks kind of bleak. We are here for, let's just say, 100 years. Each of our lives is here for 100 years. That's nothing in the blip of millions. That's nothing. So even if we're feeling right now like things look a little bleak for us, we can say the long-term perspective of human life. Okay, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right if we look at it from the bigger, broader, long-term perspective. That helps a whole lot. Another tool that I think is very valuable, why we are learning to get back to our center, is we don't lay down and be a doormat like everything's fine and rosy, and we're not saying put your head in the sand. What we can do, however, is get out in the world and join other organizations who are doing work that lines up with your values and your conviction. That way you are empowering not only yourself, but you are empowering other people. You are working together in a group with groups that say, I value this in my life. And when we do that, that, if we can do it with love, if we can do it with conviction that the source is right here where we're at, if we can do it with a sense of joy and purpose, rather than fear and anger, we're going to make a difference. If we join up in any organization and we do it with fear and anger, we're just creating more of the same problem. Get involved in the organizations that really speak to you, but do so with a sense of purpose and a sense of love and a sense of values in your life. Very, very, very helpful. Long-term perspective, get to work. Go do what feels right. But keep in mind that if we do it from fear, we're giving our power away. And if we do it from love, we are embracing the God power, the God-given gift of power within ourselves. We are using our energy the way we want to be using our energy for a greater world. Two things to finish up. I have a spiritual truth to be spoken by our founder, Ernest Thomas. And I'm taking two different quotes and bringing them together because they work together. He says, there is no power in the universe but ourselves that can free us. Someone may help us on the road to realization, but substantiality and permanence can come only through the consciousness of our own life and thought. We must bring ourselves to the place in mind where there is no misfortune, no calamity, no accident, no trouble, no confusion. Where there is nothing but plenty, peace, power, life, and truth. It is a law that the person who sees what they want to see, regardless of what appears, will someday experience in the outer world what they have so faithfully seen within. That's called faith. Jesus spoke of faith. He referred to it as the thing that we don't see, the thing that is hopeful, coming into fruition. We, in the God of our understanding, are the element that will free us. We need to hold on to our highest ideals, knowing that they will manifest in the outer world. In the long term, perhaps, but not manifest nonetheless. We need to stay in that place. And then lastly, along those same lines of using our power and our energy to create a world that works for everyone, one of my colleagues, Reverend Maureen Hoyt, was involved in an interfaith service last week. And she was asked to write her own version of I Have a Dream. We recognized the title, but they wanted her to speak of it, how she understands it for herself. And I want to share it with you. I have a dream that I will never have to explain to my granddaughter why people hate other people because of the color of their skin, their religion, or their sexual orientation. I have a dream that my children and grandchildren will love and respect the world leaders and the leader of this country in particular, because those leaders openly speak generously and lovingly on behalf of every race, creed, and color. I have a dream that we all love and support one another, encouraging understanding, compassion, and appreciation for our differences and for our sameness. I have a dream that the entire world will live in peaceful coexistence and that we are all free to be who we are. I have a dream that the good overrides the bad. I have a dream that everyone has enough to eat, a place to live in safety, and clothes to wear. I have a dream that education will move this world into a better and more loving environment where we can live harmoniously, embracing our uniqueness and celebrating it. I have a dream of a world that works for everyone. I have a dream. Make sure we all have a dream. Let's close our eyes and pray. We close our eyes so that we may let the outer distractions fall. As I turn within to the God of my understanding, I invite you to do the same. For me, the God of my understanding is the one source of all life. That one source of all life must be love. It must be giving of itself unconditionally. That one source must be intelligent. I look at planet Earth and I see enough beauty in nature to tell me